I'm making myself a fire surround. This is an arts and crafts one. It's from an image I've found on the internet. I've been looking for ages for a decent design, and this one stood out, and I've had to alter the proportions a bit because my fire is taller than it is wide, whereas the original one was the opposite. So it is a bit different, but it's basically the same thing. It's got a lot of carved panels in it, 9 in total. These 3 down the side on the original were all the same size, but I've stretched this one to obviously accommodate the shape of my fire. I've carved some of the panels. They come in pairs. They're different, but they're similar. So that's one pair. That's another. These 2 larger ones are the ones in the middle. Each of those, and there'll be another panel in the middle, but mine's going to have to be quite slim because I've reduced it by quite a bit. They're quite childlike. I was going to improve that, but I thought, well, that's what they were like, so I'll stick with it. The ones at the side, at the bottom, on the original, they were a linen fold design, which I didn't think looked very good. They're ideal for stretching because you can just extend them a bit, which isn't great, but I just didn't like the look of them. So I was looking on the internet for some more designs, and I found another 2. So this is going to be the one I'm going to work on next. So I've drawn it all out, so I'll buzz out most of it with a router, just to get rid of most of the waste. I'll have to leave a little island in the middle for the router to rest on whilst I'm cutting it out, and just chisel them out afterwards. But I think they look better as a bottom panel than the linen fold ones. So I've buzzed out most of the waste with the router and then cleaned it up, got rid of that island, and I've started carving this side just to get the shape right. I've altered it a little bit from the original because on that it was at least twice as big as this. All these flowers had rows of seeds in them, but because it's so much smaller it looked too cluttered and it wouldn't be easy to do anyway, so I've omitted those. I've got this side mostly done, so now I can start on that one. At the bottom, the original one was curved, and I was going to do that, and then I realised that obviously my frame is square, so I've cut it off straight, and instead of being cut out square at the sides like that, it's sloped in. So I've done it the same because it's the bottom one. If I don't like it, I can always chop it out anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I'll leave it like that. I think it looks better like that. So next thing I'll do is just try finishing off the other side. So I've basically finished the top part of it. The background's going to be matted, so that doesn't matter, apart from this large area which will just left with a tooled finish. I mean, it's still a little scruffy, but it should be okay. I mean, I might tidy it up a little bit more, but once it's polished, it'll look alright. So the next thing is to work at the bottom bit. So I've carved one side. It's not exactly as original because it was slightly blurry, the photograph, so it's roughly the same. It's basically the same shape, it's just some of the way it's been cut is slightly different, but I quite like it, it's fine. So now I know what it's going to look like, I can just copy the other side. So that's the bottom done. And apart from the matting and the polishing, that one's finished, I think. So I'll have to draw up the next panel and start carving that.